Hello.
Hello.
I'm Kat.
And I'm Nicole.
And today...
I'm so nervous.
And today she's doing her coming out video. So I'm here for moral support.
Yeah.
It took a mommy and a daddy. And they did magic. And then a stork came down. If you've seen The Grinch, the little bird came down and dropped her on the porch.
Oh, sure.
And boom, that was Nicole.
Boom. I guess I'll just start from like the very beginning when I first realized I was gay. Okay, so I always knew I was different, or not like all the other girls, I guess you could say. I think like I really knew in like middle school. Like I didn't know anybody in middle school that was gay. It's like back then it was like it wasn't really talked about or like anything like that. Not like it is like nowadays. Like we're like people are coming, girls and boys are coming out
Like early.
Yeah, like really early. I'm like, dang, that's early. You got some guts, kid. But yeah, so that was middle school, and my family was really Christian, and I was raised really in like a religious type of environment. So I kind of like pushed it off to the side in my head, and I was like, eh. And I never dated anybody or anything like that. And then when I was like 15, or when I got to high school, it was like, that's when it was like, whoa, there's other people like me. I didn't really I never told anybody how I felt. I just kind of kept it to myself. So when I was like 15, I started like looking online, and I think I went on a couple like teen dating sites or whatever. I don't know. And like I never really talked to any girls because I'm really shy. Fast forward, I ended up changing schools. My senior year, my best friend at the time told me she was gay and that she had a girlfriend. So that same night that she told me, I told her, and it was like a huge relief because I had never told anybody. I had somebody to talk to about it, or like actually I had somebody to like tell, and like when you tell that first person, it was like, whew, it was like I could breathe. But I never told, I kind of told like other people that I was hanging out with little by little, and some of my friends knew and some didn't, so it was like one of those things like didn't really talk about it. I don't think I've ever told you this either. I did tell one girl. I had her on MySpace, and I messaged her and I was like, hey, I think I kind of like you in that way.
Was she in high school with you?
Yeah, she was in my classes.
I never heard this story.
She was in my like 3 of my classes. No, she's like, oh, I'm flattered, but you know, I'm not that way. And I was like, okay. I was like, we're cool, right? Like, because we had 3 classes together. So I was like, it was like the first girl I ever told I liked. It was high school. I forgot about that. It just dawned on me right now.
So you guys got to hear a story at the same time I got to hear a story.
Yeah. I forgot about it. I totally forgot. Well, so that happened, and then like high school happened, beginning of college happened. Never really came out to my family then. So fast forward, I decided to sign up for chemistry.com, and I met a girl online that is now like a friend of mine. Like we talk every once in a while on Facebook, but me and her quickly realized after the first date we went on that we would just be friends. We weren't like attracted to each other in any way, and like we would just talk and like hang out every once in a while. And then I would talk to girls online, but not really talk to girls. Because, again, my family was very, they still are, but that's, yeah, okay. Anyways, they're very religious, or very much, like, believes the Christian faith aspect of being gay is a sin and it's wrong and you shouldn't be that way. So, there was a couple times that they questioned me and I always told them, no, I'm not gay or I'm not like that. So maybe 2 or 3 years after that, in 2012, but I decided to go on a dating website and try to find a guy to try to be quote unquote normal for my parents and my family. So I was talking to this guy, and like the very first date I ever went on with a guy, the very first time I ever hung out with a guy, I was like, oh no, I can't do this. I sound so bad. And you say it out loud. I was like, oh no. I texted him that next day and I was like, you know, dude, I'm sorry, but you know, we could be friends. Like, I know you said like you like me, but I'm really down to be friends with you. And that's about it. I go, you know, it's not you, it's me, because that's what she said. I don't know what it is. It's get worse. Maybe that's why he like totally like distanced himself, because after that I told him, I was like, I don't think I could date guys. I didn't want to say anything, but I really think I'm gay, and yeah, I'm sorry, dude, it's not you, it's me. But you know, and yeah, after that he never wanted to talk to me again. He like totally like deleted me from Facebook and blocked me.
You heard his corazón?
I did. I probably heard his corazón. Right after that, I decided to change it to girls.
What were you on?
I was on Plenty of Fish, where I met my beautiful wife. But yeah, so I changed it to girls, and I started talking to girls again. What was it? End of May. Yeah, end of May. That's when she messaged me. So yeah, she messaged me first. So we started talking, and like we would talk off and on, and then we met in like person in June 7th. I met her at an Applebee's.
Yes.
That's no longer there, which is sad, because
yeah,
that was like our first place we ever went on a date, or we met. So I met her in June, and then we got together in July 18th of 2012. And I'm still not out to my family at this point. We got together in 2012, and then fast forward like 2013, beginning of 2013, I had a friend that I had told, and I kind of used her as an excuse as to how I met Cat, because her cousin lived in the same area, and my mom knew that. So I was like, oh, I met her through so-and-so. And so when she was talking to my cousin, I guess she was upset at me for kind of not really hanging out with her as much anymore, and hanging out more with Cat and just being with Cat all the time. So she kind of like, because my family was like, why are you hanging out with her all the time, and like, we just want you, why are you always over there, and all this other BS. So she ended up telling my cousin that Cat was my girlfriend and that we were a couple. And so of course my cousin told my mom. And one day when I went home, she was like, we need to talk. And she's like, is Cat your girlfriend? And I was like, I just broke down and started crying. And I told her that yes, she was my girlfriend and that we were together. And then she wasn't okay with it. She told me not to basically tell anybody, and she wouldn't talk about it really. And then I started staying with Cat more and more and more, and then we decided to move out together
in April.
In April, yeah, April of 2013. So then, when that happened, before that, she had told my stepdad that Cat was my girlfriend and I was gay, and like, he's very, homophobic is like what they use. Like, he doesn't really, yeah, very homophobic. And so I think I was scared the most to tell him. And so like, he told me like, you know, he still loves me and stuff, but they still weren't happy with the fact that I was with Kat. And so we moved out together. They didn't help me move at all. I had to pack my room into her truck by myself. Yeah. And like, my brother was like kind of an asshole at that time too. Like, he didn't even like, he helped me carry a bookcase out, but he didn't help put it in the car or nothing. He just like put it on the side of the road and like went back inside. So when we moved out, there was a lot of drama surrounding us being together, and because of my family, and it was causing a lot of arguments with us because they didn't accept her and they wouldn't like really include her in anything. Not that they wouldn't, they didn't include her in anything. And I was still like, I wasn't being a good girlfriend. I was like still letting them run my life, and I wasn't sticking up for her, and like, it was a lot of drama. And then like, I broke my leg at one point when we were living together, and they were just like, they would come over and like, they wouldn't talk to her, and like, they wouldn't like acknowledge the fact that we were a couple. There was times that they just were completely like rude, and like, one time they called me and told me a bunch of stuff about me being gay and how it was ruining my mom, and like, it was making her sick, and it was just really bad. And fast forward a few years, and I think it was last year, I had proposed to Kat, which you saw the video if you looked at, like, it was one of our first videos. And we were gonna have a big wedding. But a few months after I had proposed to her, my family still wasn't okay with it. They still were wishing probably that I wasn't gay and that I wasn't with Kat, and still weren't okay with any of it. So
yeah, it was all of 2013 until
2015. So from 2013 till 2015, we dealt with a lot of issues with my family, and with just a lot of drama, which would cause us to argue, and it just wasn't healthy for our relationship. And so middle of 2015, I stopped talking to my mom and my family.
Because they didn't want to be part of the wedding at all?
Yeah, my stepdad said he wasn't coming at all, which was really, really hard. Because I felt abandoned, because he raised me like his own daughter. Like, I didn't know he was my stepdad, or that he wasn't my biological father, till I was like 10. Like, I always thought he was my dad. And there was some stuff that was said prior to me stop talking to him, and we still haven't talked to this day. But there was some stuff that was said that really hurt. And so when like my mom said she wasn't going to be a part of the wedding either, or she wasn't going, at first she said that she would go, and then she said she wouldn't. I think it was mostly because my stepdad said he wouldn't go, and like he didn't agree with it. And I think the only person that really said that they would go or be a part of it was my grandma. During that time, I had started talking to my real dad, and I had developed a relationship with him. So from the very beginning, they met Cat, and from the first day I met him, he met Cat that day too. We went up there together and to see him, and they went with me to meet him, and it was like the first time I remember that I had ever seen him. As I know both him and my mom said I had seen him when I was really little, like 3 or younger. So that was the first time I had remember seeing him, and he was really open with our relationship. Like I don't know if it was because my sister had told him she was bisexual, so he kind of like already had like used to my idea. And then he has family members that are lesbian, and he's really okay with the idea of us being married. We didn't end up getting married in the church or having the big wedding, because Kat knew I wanted my family there, or my mom and like the family I grew up with. So we ended up getting married in the court, and my dad was there, and it was nice, and we had a little barbecue afterwards, which is also in the video. In February, I decided to start talking to my mom again. I called her on her birthday and told her happy birthday, and she was just really happy that I called, and like really excited. And I still hadn't really talked to her. Like, we had kind of talked off and on, and then on Mother's Day of this year, we took her out to eat, and we had a really good heart-to-heart with her. And like I told her even before I took her out to eat that like I'm with Kat, and she needs to basically deal with it, or she's not gonna have me in her life. I told her like I understand that like it's hard for her because it goes against her religion, and I know it's hard for Kat's parents too because they're Catholic, and like it just goes against what they were brought up as or believing. So anything new is hard for people to understand or to comprehend or like
to get.
Yeah,
especially when they're older. So they're already kind of set in their ways and what they believe in and everything.
Yeah, so it took her a long time to come around. I came out in 2013, and we're now in 2016, so it took her 3 years to kind of come around.
And she knows that we're trying to have a baby.
Yeah.
She's like supportive about it, and
my other family, my family is too. My dad's family was like really supportive from like the first day we met. I think it's because like they were so excited to have me back in their life. My mom is coming around now, and we even go over to visit. We stopped by a couple weeks back, and my grandma's excited too. She's like, I'm gonna be another great grandmother.
No, she's I'm gonna be a great grandmother now.
Oh yeah, I told him on Mother's Day that, you know, we were gonna start having kids and this year and start the process of everything. And my mom's like, oh my grandma said it. She's like, oh, you're gonna be a grandmother finally. And then I was like, you are too. And she's like, no, I'm gonna be a great grandmother. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, so.
And yeah, so they're happy for us now. Even my aunt, which I was really surprised about my aunt.
I was nervous.
Because my aunt is kind of like my mom's, your sibling that you're the closest to. So that's like my mom's like other half sibling, twice anyways. But yeah, so.
It's her person. If you've seen Grey's Anatomy, it's her person.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Perfect reference. So yeah, so she was like all excited when she seen me. She was like, cause none of them had seen me in like
a year
yeah, almost. More. I think it was a year.
Yeah.
I think it was like seen me in like a year. Yeah. I hadn't really been going around. So yeah, so for those of you who think that it doesn't get better, it does. Because that's what I was thinking for a long time. Like, I was like, it's never gonna get better. Like, I don't know, for a long time, I thought that, like, because we already married, and I was like, my wife and my mom can't stand each other. And it's really hard to deal with that because that's like, it's like, that's my other half. And then my mom is like my mom, and it's like, it's hard to find it was hard to find a balance, and I didn't know how to find that balance. And like, after we've had our 2 heart-to-heart talks, because we had one over the phone and we had one in person, and it made it so much better. Like, it's made it so much easier, because like now it's like I don't have to worry about them not getting along. I guess like when you come from a family that is so anti-gay, and then all of a sudden, like, sometimes you have to step back and realize that, you know, they are gonna, like, they will come around, and it will get better. And like, I know there's a lot of kids and people out there that think like I can't find happiness being who I am, but you can. So I did. I love
Both
you.
do. I
Yes.
love you too.
But yeah, so
it does get better.
Yeah, it does get better, and you will find a common ground, or a common thing, you know. And it is great to know that all my family, for the most part, is okay with it, and they're wanting to be a part of our kids' lives. And my mom does want to be like an actual grandma to our kids. And
when we do have
one of the biggest things that I was worried about was with all my family, including even my dad. Like, he is okay with it, but at the same time I was still nervous that, like, because I'm not the one having the kid, are they still gonna see our kids as my kid? Because it's coming from Cat. Like, she's the one that's gonna be carrying. So like, I wanted to make sure with my mom and my grandma and my aunt and my dad and his girlfriend and their family and just everybody, that, like, you know, it's not coming from me. But even though it's not coming from me, it's still my kid, and it's still our kid together. Like, even though it's not from me, but it's still ours. It's still my baby. it's still my daughter or my son, whatever we have. So like I'm just grateful that they do see it that way, and like they are wanting to be a part of our kids' lives and our lives, and I just know it can only get better from here. Like, I know there'll be rough times and hard times, but as far as like coming out, it's been hard. It's been
an emotional
roller coaster. It's been a struggle, both externally and internally, because I'm a very sensitive person, and as you see, I cry. It does take a toll on you, but it does get better, and it will get better. So yeah, so I had a hard coming out, but it's getting better.
Yeah,
it's getting better. So we'll just see where the rest of our life takes us down the road. This was my coming out story. So,
and if you guys you need anybody to talk to about your coming out story, or you're having a hard time, you know, we're always here. You guys can leave it in the comment, or you guys can even email us. Our email's below, and you know, we'll get back to you.
I know everybody's journey is different, and it's all the same. Like, we're just all trying to find love, and either whether it be from a spouse, a significant other, your parents, a sibling, you're just wanting to be loved, and we love you, so you could come talk to us.
Yeah, you could join our family.
Right, we don't mind. We like a big family. We want a big family. You could join our family.
You could be our other kid.
We have plenty of those. But yeah, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Church on Sunday, he was giving it kisses like it's like a baby, and then all of a sudden he started like, I was like, what? I was like, excuse me, we do not make out in this family. I was like, that's not appropriate. I said, you give little kisses only. He's like, got all excited. I was like, no. It's like no tongue. No tongue.